What is up, everybody? This is Ed. We're back with another video, another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. I am your host, Edward Anderson. So today we are talking A4, and tonight's conversation, quote unquote, debacle, implosion, whatever somebody wants to call it, whatever I may title it to make this seem like it's a bigger deal than it actually is. But we're going to talk about it because this comes back to a central theme that I always talk about, which is people are out here trading in narratives. They're not out here really looking to solve problems, looking to add perspective, they want to serve sugar and candy and not vegetables. And you know, it's funny, there's a thing where corporations do a lot of testing when it comes to food products and ingredients. You know, a lot of taste tests, a lot of, you know, surveys as far as having people come in there and try stuff. You know, you're mainly your sugar, chocolate, these sort of things. And what they have done is they have pretty much come up with the perfect combination of what they call salt, sugar, and I think in flour. The perfect combination. Or the perfect combination range, which is why these foods make somebody's taste buds like really jump. And it may not seem like that to you because you're used to having too much sugar. Lord knows I have too much sugar. But like, if you get away from sugar for like a month or 6 weeks or so, if you really take a diet away from not only sugar, but like sugar that we traditionally know it, but also like bread and stuff. So even not just simple sugars, which is white sugar, but also you know, non-simple sugar, which is carbs, or like bread, rice, stuff like that. If you come back to sweets, it will taste very differently. It'll seem like it's very, very strong, and it'll be stronger once you get away from it. And that's a good thing, because that means you're we are low-key addicted to sugar. We really are. We're addicted to sugar. People are more addicted to bread than they actually think they are. And you may have thought you clicked on the wrong video, but I'm saying this for a reason. Having these conversations where we're talking about male-female relations, where women are, I guess, looking for a male opinion, or they're looking for a societal opinion to either validate what they're doing or tell them what they're not doing, it's okay, it doesn't matter. Basically, the long and the short of it is, you can do what you want to do. Never feel bad. Never hold yourself accountable. It's just a figment of your imagination. Essentially, that's what they're being told. And essentially, that is that is pretty much what this conversation has become when it comes to the quote-unquote purple pill / blue pill, the basically side of this. It is now, is it everybody? No, but it's most. And so we go to Ace Metaphor. Ace Metaphor is a guy that is pretty much considered like the quote-unquote Derrick Jackson Jr., if you know who he is. He has done the same. He has followed in the footsteps of Derrick Jackson. Derrick Jackson is still around, but Derrick Jackson is not on YouTube as much because of his stuff with his relationship. And you know, I could dump on Derrick Jackson, and Lord knows he deserves it. But the reality is, women would not allow, I'm not taking him off the hook for cheating, especially in a marriage. But the reality is, women did not make it any easier. Women went out of their way to try to sleep with him. And that's just facts. And there's a whole nother conversation to be had about, you know, because everybody wants to talk about men that cheat, but also the home wrecker brigade. Women that don't even want a man unless he's married. Women don't do a good enough job holding that part of it accountable. Okay? So, but Ace Metaphor is following in the footsteps of Derrick Jackson, and he is following the footsteps of Derrick Jackson in more ways than one. He is pretty much everybody in his group, his crew, that he was doing that tonight's conversation thing with, has quit. And that tells you, and they have all quit at the same time. It's not like, they quit. It's not like, they quit one, like they literally quit like almost back to back to back. Which should tell you there's a lot of stuff that's been building up, and it finally boiled over. The women have quit, the men have quit. And I guess they all believe that they've gotten as much as they're going to get out of it. They've gotten the clout necessary, the viewership necessary, and and whatever cost they had to pay to do it, it's not worth paying anymore. And that is what it is. I would say it's unfortunate, but it's not. I don't typically talk about this as far as my content, because that level of crap that they were spewing out, it'd be like, okay, a clock is right maybe 3 times a day on certain things, but most of the stuff was straight BS. It was literally emotional dope dealing at its finest. And so there's a lot of people, and I want to give my opinion on it. So there's a lot of people that's like really tiptoeing around, like they don't want to be caught saying something that may be a rumor, innuendo. They don't want to really be in the rumor mill. So they're really like, putting out the quote unquote facts of what they know happened. I don't really know why people are so afraid of getting something wrong when it comes to this. Like Ace Metaphor is going to come at you. Or I personally think it's a lot of folks that listen to these people, some of these people's channels that also listen to Ace Metaphor. And so people are trying to be careful on that front. I don't care. But I'm not going to just completely just throw him under the bus. But the bigger thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to this is him, but not just him. It's really what he represents. Let me say this first. These men are not helping women. There's this thing where if you're anti Kevin Samuels or anti Red Pill, or you're holding men accountable, that you're helping women. They only hold, first of all, this is how you know they don't hold men accountable. They're usually doing more than what the men they're quote unquote holding men accountable are doing. They're doing as much, if not more. Derek Jackson literally drove his wife crazy. Now his wife was loopy from the start, but understand, he drove her crazy. This is the mother of his children. I want you to really understand that. This is not just a simple cheating. Like, this situation, that just it goes to show you, first of all, you can talk about her being loopy all you want to. At the end of the day, you offered her marriage. Let's be real about that. So you knew what you was walking into, or you should have knew, which A tells you that he don't know as much as he act like he does. That's number one. Number two, he didn't manage her well. Like, these are the things that he's supposed to be giving you guidance on. And Ace Metaphor is the same thing. Ace Metaphor is actually a lot worse than Derek Jackson. Because what Ace Metaphor does is he likes to have these little punchlines and these little zingers. I said it on a live stream. Ace Metaphor is a pillow talking Negro. Ace Metaphor is the type of dude that he's one of these where's my hug type dudes. That he likes to pretend to be, he's literally a beta male game. He is a practitioner of beta male game. That is what he does. He is the definition of a snake oil salesman. And he may not be a used car salesman, but he's a new car salesman. Meaning he'll sell you a car knowing that car is on some BS, but because it's new, he'll still sell it. And this is why I call these guys emotional dope dealers, man. Because people think, oh, he's just telling these women what they want to hear and it's a victimless crime. It's not a victimless crime. It's not a victimless crime at all. Because the reality of the situation is what he's doing is he's doing the same thing drug dealers used to do. Drug dealers didn't sell dope. They sold dope in their community. They sold dope and poisoned their own community for their own advancement. And those people wanted what he was selling too. And you're poisoning relations between black men and black women. You're wasting black women's time. And when I say time, I'm not just talking about them listening to him. I'm talking about how long these chicks get trapped in these rabbit holes. These chicks will go into these these pink pill rabbit holes or purple pill rabbit holes, and they won't come out till they're 40 years old. Because at the end of the day, nobody's telling them really what they need to hear, which is A, you doing too much, and B, there's going to be long-term consequences to your actions. Just because you're not dealing with stuff in a real, immediate way does not mean that you're not going to pay a long-term cost for the stuff that you're doing. And it's not about karma. It's about nature and the natural order of things. All of you chicks are gonna be 40 or 45. Y'all, none of you all are bypassing this. Some of y'all can delay the wall, but none of you all are bypassing it. And this thing about, and the nature of men and women are not the same. Men, as long as men can maintain their utility and maintain a certain semblance of how they look, women view men differently than men view women. It's not the same. And it's not about it's fair. That's between you and God and you and nature. It's what it is. And dudes telling you what you want to hear doesn't change that. The only thing it does is they steal away from you the necessary urgency that you need to actually make something happen. There are certain things that people, because they were, pea-footing around, that they didn't get done, that they absolutely wish they could have got done. Whether it's for someone or it was for themselves, because they didn't have the urgency. And that's essentially what Ace Metaphor and them do. They steal time. They steal your mind. The Ace Metaphor and these dudes will have you looking at your sons the wrong way, because your sons are nothing more but boys that are not men yet. And you'll be judging them off the men that they might become because you listening to what these fools are talking about. And say what you want to about the manosphere. The manosphere ain't got dudes looking at their daughters differently like that. And so people act like this is innocent. No, it's not innocent. What he's doing is very insidious. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't care. I mean, there's got rumors up in here of him sleeping with women in the with the Tonight's Conversation. And to be honest with you, I'm not even putting that completely on him. These women know what they're doing. Like, you got chicks that are 54 years old going to a dating show. Like, what do you expect him to, like, I promise you, if what he was telling you was that significant, he'd put it in a book and charge you a lot of money for it. Like, I'm 54 and I just want to know if love can still find me. Like, seriously, you're old enough to be somebody's grandmother and you're like, that's insane. But this is the type of conversation that these people come up with, and it's for real though. And I don't want to make this too long. And I may play a video in the front of this video. We'll see. But understand that when I say emotional dope dealing, it's not just a catchphrase because it sounds good. It does. But it's really also to speak about. It's really also to speak to the fact that these dudes are the ones that are really harming women. Because, the last thing I'm going to say, and this is going to be the most poignant. Women, first of all, women love to say they're being lied to. Women love being lied to. Women will pay good money to be lied to. So this narrative that women are being victimized, I mean, I just spent the first couple minutes of this video saying that they are, but they are voluntarily walking into that. They are voluntarily walking into being lied to. This is not something that they just don't understand, that they don't get. They want to be lied to. It's like a dude that tricks, saying, I don't understand why I keep spending this money. I don't know what's happening. No, you're volunteering to trick. And this is what women are doing. They're just tricking off their time. Some of them do trick off their money to be lied to. But they're volunteering to be lied to. And they come through here like they don't understand. Like a lot of the conventional stuff that's being said right now with this tonight's conversation, I didn't know. If you didn't know, you're stupid. I'm not even going to hold you. If you truly didn't know, you were dumb. I question your IQ. Especially after Derrick Jackson. Anybody that knows Ace Metaphor knows Derrick Jackson. Anybody that watches that tonight's conversation show knows Derrick Jackson. So I don't want to hear you all act like you don't. And Derrick Jackson's not even the first one to really pop off like that. A lot of you, and I know a lot of you all are not stupid like that. I know a lot of you all are not stupid like that. So you all want to pretend like you all are dumb. And ultimately, that's a game you're playing with yourself. That's a game that you all are playing with yourself. Because time keeps moving. Time never stops. And the older you get, I'm going to tell you a secret. The faster time seems like it moves. The years go by quicker the older you get. The quarters go by quicker. The months go by quicker. Especially when you're on social media and you're dealing with trend after trend after trend. It seemed like yesterday Cat Williams had this stuff where it blew up with Shannon Sharp stuff. This stuff goes by. And y'all sitting here playing. Y'all sitting here playing, or when y'all want a baby, y'all want to have an encounter with somebody and act like that dude just manipulated you when in actuality you really wanted a baby. You all want to say you want dudes with great character, but understand, a man that is willing to knowingly lie to you for profit, knowing good and well that he really sending y'all off on some send-off missions, knowing good and well that the stuff that he's telling y'all, how emotionally invested you are in it, that is not a man with character. That is not a man of good character that's willing to do that. That is not a man of good character. But at the same time, because all they got to do is say these men are mad, it's literally like dope. It's like somebody saying you need to get off the bottle, and then it's like, oh, well, they're just mad. And because you want to believe that, you choose to believe it. And that's why that's why he's going to be fine. There'll be somebody else to come up, because what these dudes are doing is and even some people that are even quote unquote in our space, y'all are so triggered about Kevin Samuels, and you're so triggered about the so-called red pill or manosphere, that you all are so desperate and looking for the anti-red pill, the anti-Kevin Samuels, that you all are listening to people that are knowingly lying to you. Kevin never lied to you. And y'all told him that he can rest in the places opposite of heaven. You got people that were literally celebrating his death. Y'all don't even be celebrating the death of actual murderers. Y'all low-key don't even be celebrating the death of actual men that actually do brutal harm to black women. But because Kevin had you in your feelings so bad, because the truth, you all are so out of alignment with what the reality of the situation is, or your situation is, that y'all wanted to put curses on that dude. To the point where he been gone about 3-4 years, and you got some people still putting curses on him. As if that changes your situation. That's how crazy that is. And y'all flock, whether it's Priscilla, whether it's Ace Metaphor, Derrick Jackson, whether it's whoever, whether it's that Yaya dude, you all sign up to be lied to. There really needs to be a disclaimer. Everything I'm telling y'all is pretty much 80% BS. This is not good for your quality of life. Understand that there are 4 types of quality of life. There are money, time freedom, health, money, time freedom, and relationships. Relationships Relationships are what is essentially talked about. Relationships are essentially what is talked about in this conversation that we're in. Relationships. And the stuff that they tell you is very anti-quality of life for relationships. But it keeps you stuck. It keeps you in bad habits. It's essentially like telling an obese person, imagine, I mean, it's what body positivity essentially is. Body positivity essentially is for fat people. It pretty much gives you an excuse to stay where you are. Basically says it has nothing to do with your actual health, your actual lifespan. It's really all just a product of it's a product of the, you know, of society and social norms. It can be politically adjusted. It's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's so not as true and so outside of what's actually true that you might as well, it is a lie. They're lying to you, and you volunteer to receive it. And so really the main thing I want you all to understand about this video is you choose to accept being lied to. And by the way, in case you listen this long and you think that you just hold men, women accountable. You know, game is kind of that same way for men, but game is not as bad. But dudes interface with game in a lot of the same way, where dudes are basically selling stories and Negro tales and not really giving actionable real information and telling the truth. However, it's more truth to people talking game than what they just straight up lying to y'all. And so at the end of the day, it is what it is, and y'all gonna do what y'all gonna do. So let me know what you think. Do you agree with this video? Do you not? If you don't, give me where do you disagree with? Do you think Ace Metaphor is gonna survive this? How much of Ace Metaphor's content have you ever consumed? Do you think any of them other females or Trip or males are gonna blow up from tonight's conversation? Do you think they're gonna throw Ace Metaphor under the bus because apparently NDAs were signed? Which, by the way, if you gotta sign NDAs, that tells me a lot. For stuff like this, that tells me a lot about who that dude is. And the NDA is not necessarily bad. I don't consider it bad, not at all. But what I will say is, that tells me is that fool know what he about. And he ain't living like he talking. Another thing is, did you always think, did you learn anything about them that you didn't know before? Did you always think it was weird that all of them were single? They're single talking about relationships. Like, they're not talking about dating. They are talking about dating, but they're mainly talking about relationships. Did you ever find that weird? Let me know what you think. As always, check in with a like, check out with a comment, let your voice be heard. Make sure you click on the links in the description. You know, like you saw probably throughout this video, you know, check out the Discord, check out the Cash App, the Patreon. You know, make sure you support this. If you like these types of deep dives, when we deep dive in this stuff, have a long drawn out conversation, let me know. And with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.